Dr. Alexander, what is the historical significance in the Middle East of the Middle East for the entire world? And for us, it's the region where most of the prophets lived and died. And the stories told both in the Bible and the Quran have their origins in that area. Other than it was sources of natural wealth, it has an economical, strategical, and political and cultural significance. Do you think it will be significant in the future also? And in what aspects?
Obviously, the Middle East, this region is what they call the cradle of civilization, where the human civilization was shaped, where the main ideas, main principles, and main teachings were shaped.
Mm-hmm.
And the heritage is cherished by all religions, I mean by three, as you pointed, Abrahamic religions. And not to mention the practical aspects of it, as you mentioned, the resources, natural resources which have been discovered recently can be not only the source of contention, but it can be only the source of cooperation, as we know in the history of European Union. When it was founded, the idea was to bring the two most vicious nations, France and Germany,
Mm-hmm.
who were fighting for at least 500 years through the coal union, that they would be forced to be involved in cooperative activity, and that was the nucleus of the European Union. Obviously, the same principle applies in the Middle East. So if there is a framework can be found where the resources can be the source of the cooperation rather than source of contention, it's very obviously important aspect of this process. And thirdly, when we see in the media the coverage that there is a global shift of the Asia, specifically obviously to China, which is the Confucian civilization, I somewhat disagree with this assessment, because even though China, through its great economic achievement, through its progress in technology, which it has achieved, it obviously seems to be like a shining example of a new focus of all global activities. But I believe that China has not produced any principles which all the humanity can share. I mean, I'm not saying that the civilization of China has not contributed to great art and great civilizational achievement, but those principles didn't filter through. Other nations didn't embrace them, whether it's because China didn't want those principles to be unifying global principles, or because the non-Chinese did not embrace those principles for whatever reason. I don't think this situation has changed, even though China undoubtedly today it's a emerging global power, but it doesn't have the power of ideas which humanity can embrace. Whether, as I said, not because Chinese civilization is bad or has a negative example. It's simply they're not carrying through. They're not capturing the imagination of other nations.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.